At this time, we kindly ask that you join us in welcoming Miss Aaliyah Campbell to the stage as she performs a beautiful invocation in song. Miss Campbell. Aaliyah, that was lovely. And thank you for a perfect start, perfect night. Dr. Brian Coburn, Acting Deputy Principal, and other members of the campus executive management team, the UWI St. Augustine Campus, Dr. Leroy Hill, Director, Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning of the UWI St. Augustine, Ms. Samantha Sao, President, Guardian Life of the Caribbean Limited, and members of the executive team, Emeritus Professor Mike Sharples, Emeritus Professor of Educational Technology, the Open University UK, distinguished awardees, specially invited guests, staff of the UWI, senior management, and staff of the Guardian Life of the Caribbean, members of the UWI Guardian Life of the Caribbean Premium Events Committee, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I would now like to officially welcome you all to the prestigious 2024 UWI Guardian Life of the Caribbean Premium Teaching Awards, where we gather to celebrate the excellence and dedication of our educators. I am Mark Garcia, and I'm honored to be your host this evening. Our center, the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning, has a rich legacy of transforming education at the UWI. Since its inception, CETL, as we're affectionately known, has been a pioneering force in promoting innovative teaching practices, empowering educators to enhance the student learning experience. Our mission is rooted in the belief that effective teaching is the cornerstone of academic excellence, and throughout the years, we have grown into a hub of pedagogical research and professional development, and the scholarship of teaching and learning. No way can I proceed without thanking our dynamic duo, our very first director, Dr. Betty Enrolier, followed by Dr. Anime Edwards-Henry. The hard work that you have put in has definitely paid off and is being continued by our current director. Tonight, we celebrate not only the extraordinary educators, but also our own center's ongoing journey of fostering a culture of continuous improvement and creativity in teaching. Also, it would be remiss of me to not express our deepest gratitude to the Guardian Life of the Caribbean for their continued partnership in this event. Tonight's awards adds another year to our long-standing relationship with our proud partner, the Guardian Life of the Caribbean. In fact, this year, we actually sit on the cusp of our silver anniversary, celebrating 25 years in 2025. So it will be a night to remember, and more so, a night to reflect on how impactful education is and how our teachers embody that statement every single day. Tonight, we are also honored to have Emeritus Professor Mike Sharples as our featured speaker. Professor Sharples, an Emeritus Professor of Educational Technology from the Open University, is a global leader in exploring how technology enhances learning. His innovative research, particularly in mobile and collaborative learning, has reshaped educational approaches worldwide. The theme of his keynote address tonight, Empowering Educators, Enriching Learners, the AI Education Era, speaks to the heart of current educational transformation. Having entered the age of AI, the new biggest two-letter word, Professor Sharples will share insights on how AI can empower educators to create more personalized and enriched learning experiences. And this is in an effort to position both teachers and students in the best spot to thrive in this landscape. So we are incredibly fortunate to have Professor Sharples with us tonight, and we are certain that his words will spark inspiration and new ideas moving forward as we shape the future of education. At this time, it is my pleasure to invite Dr. Brian Coburn, Acting Deputy Campus Principal of the UWI St. Augustine, to deliver remarks on behalf of the campus principal.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. No, we don't have AI here to handle the greetings, so I'm afraid we are going to have to do the heavy lifting. Good afternoon. We can work with that. All protocols continue to be observed. It is a great pleasure to be here representing Pro Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal, Professor Rosemary Bell Antoine. Professor Antoine is unable to join us this afternoon, but she sends her sincere apologies and well wishes for today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to honor those educators who have demonstrated excellence in teaching. As a university deeply rooted in the Caribbean, the University of the West Indies has always been committed to advancing the development of our region. This includes not only our transformative research, but also our student-centered teaching. Our university has produced over 240,000 graduates who can be found in every sphere of society, from the public and private sectors to entrepreneurship and even government leadership. Our own Minister of Education is a PhD in chemistry from the St. Augustine Campus of the University of the West Indies. It is important to recognize that those outstanding efforts contribute to the fulfillment of our mandate. I want to extend a special thank you to Ms. Samantha Saul, President of Guardian Life of the Caribbean Limited, and her organization for supporting us and for recognizing the powerful impact that teaching has on our society. Guardian Life of the Caribbean has been our partner in this initiative since the inception of these prestigious awards in 2000. In 2000, it was the foresight of Ms. Betty Ann Rollet, head of our Instructional Development Unit, the IDU as it was known back then. It was her foresight that we must recognize teaching excellence with the appropriate gravitas. Since then, the strong partnership with Guardian Life has facilitated a sustained tradition of honoring the best and most distinguished in the field of teaching. The twin shocks of the COVID-19 pandemic and the public advent of generative artificial intelligence have shaken and stirred the education sector considerably. I'm sure we all eagerly await Emeritus Professor Mike Sharples' address on the apt theme, Empowering Educators, Enriching Learners, the AI Education Era. It is certainly apt because AI has permeated every facet of our lives. Much of the conversation has focused on the negative implications, such as copyright infringements, unanticipated ethical consequences, plagiarism, and job displacement. However, universities are obliged to recognize, embrace, and articulate the significant benefits AI offers. In the field of education, there have been extensive discussions on the generative AI language learning model, ChatGPT, and its potential impact on the future of education. Although the concept itself of generative AI has been explored for decades, the November 2022 debut of ChatGPT was almost certainly a notable milestone. Current versions of generative AI are more sophisticated than ever. Technology is continually evolving and compelling changes in the ways in which we live our lives. Education is not immune to those changes. At the University of the West Indies, we have begun taking proactive measures to regulate as well as to guide the use of AI. Not only do we have a draft policy in alignment with the UN General Assembly Resolution Objective 5 of the Global Digital Compact Zero Draft on AI, we are ensuring that there is alignment with several other policies and frameworks to guide our students, lecturers, and administrators. To fully harness the benefits of AI in education, the World Bank recommends that countries reduce the digital gap, provide greater access to digital infrastructure, and offer more training for educators and students alike. They further advocate for ethical regulatory frameworks to govern the use and integration of AI in organizations. Even so, with the rapid advancements of AI and its capabilities, we acknowledge that any policy documents must be fluid and adaptable to accommodate even further changes. As I conclude, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to Dr. Hill and the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning for their dedicated efforts in supporting our educators, as well as the committee orchestrating these special awards each year. Congratulations to our eventual winners. You do us proud and continue to have a profound impact on the lives of our students and all their circles of interaction. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to Emeritus Professor Mike Sharples, whose insights into AI and education will undoubtedly be invaluable. Last but not least, thank you to all those in attendance. Your presence here is a reflection of the value you place on teaching and education as a whole. My hope is that by the end of this event, you will leave with a deeper understanding and greater insights into the future of education and, where appropriate, incorporate new perspectives into your practice, whatever that practice might involve. As an educator myself, I'm optimistic about the potential that AI holds and look forward to witnessing the advancements it will usher in as we harness these new tools. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Coburn, for your insightful and inspiring remarks on behalf of the campus principal and for your admonition to incorporate the use of generative AI in a responsible manner. We do acknowledge our Minister of Education, the Honorable Nan Gadsby-Dolly. We thank you for your continued support throughout all of our events. Now, it is my distinct pleasure to invite to the stage another remarkable leader, Ms. Samantha Saul, President of the Guardian Life of the Caribbean, and she will bring remarks on behalf of our proud partner. Ms. Saul.
Thank you, Mark. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, good evening. Guardian Group recognizes the value of education in the lives of this generation and others that will follow. Specifically, at Guardian Life of the Caribbean Limited, we understand the intrinsic benefits that collaboration in the academic sphere can bring to students and teachers. And at this evening's Premier Teaching Awards, we celebrate the excellence of our educators and their adaptability to change in our dynamic and evolving world. Embracing change is key to growth and success. In our Guardian Group's 177-year history, our organization has had to evolve and adapt to changes in our environment to remain relevant and achieve continued success. Adaptability has become a core pillar of our business and is fundamental to the aspect of our approach of work. It defines our history, our culture, and more importantly, it lays the foundation of our future. Our ability to successfully navigate these changes has established us as the single largest brand in the insurance and financial services sector in English and Dutch Caribbean. The status is due, without a doubt, to our diligence in monitoring the environment in which we operate and our responsiveness to cues of change. Today, we live in an era defined by unprecedented change and advancements in technology. Not that long ago, some of you may recall, our families depended on encyclopedias to learn about the world. And just recently, we depended on print newspaper to keep abreast of current affairs. The birth of the internet has changed all of this, opening a vista of knowledge curated in a matter of seconds from around the world. Today, more persons are consuming information using their phones and smart devices, and some of you have smart televisions and smart homes. The rise of artificial intelligence is fundamentally transforming the way we live, work, and learn. It is changing the way students conduct research and prepare assignments, the way we respond to our environment, and how we engage and interact with each other. AI holds immense promise, but it also comes with challenges, and it is critical that we approach its integration with both optimism, ethical care, and responsibility. The art of learning is more than acquiring information. Integrity, curiosity, and creativity is at the heart of our education system. AI can assist in teaching facts. It can assist with analysis, but it is up to educators to foster the kind of critical thinking and ethical reasoning that shapes well-rounded individuals of our next generation. Today, I urge you to apply the same due diligence exercised in our business world to this new technological landscape. We are truly operating in uncharted territory with the advancement of AI, and it is imperative that we are cognizant of the responsibility that we all must take on as a result. We can all agree that technology continues to evolve at whirlwind speeds. At Guardian Life of the Caribbean, I am pleased to say that we are responsive to this new technology, and we are actively doing the groundwork to determine the role that AI can play in our industry, without eclipsing integrity, people-centric values, and the heart of our leadership. Artificial intelligence represents one of the greatest opportunities to revolutionize how we work, learn, and grow. Embracing AI as a tool for progress, however, should be approached with care, wisdom, and integrity. By doing so, we can, without a doubt, harness its power to create a future that is not only more advanced, but in the long term, just and equitable. At Guardian Life, we are pleased to be part of these progressive academic discussions that will undoubtedly impact lives of today's students, teachers, and many more to come. Thank you, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Ms. Sau, for your remarks and for highlighting the need to keep up with the times and to adapt. We now turn our attention and invite to the platform Dr. Leroy Hill, Director of the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning of the UWI St. Augustine Campus, as he introduces our feature speaker. Dr. Hill.
I adopt the protocol already established. I know you want to get out of here soon and listen to the featured speaker. So, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my duty to introduce the speaker, Professor Mike Sharples, Professor of Education Technology at Open University, UK. His expertise involves human-centered design and evaluation of new technologies and environments for learning. In 1984, he gained a PhD from the Department on the theme of artificial intelligence, University of Edinburgh, on cognition, computers, and creative writing. His pioneering work on generative AI in education involved designing software for children to explore the creative use of language, and collaboration between his PhD student, Rafael Perez. Perez led to the development of an AI software model, the processes of story generation. He is also a senior member of the Popular Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. His research projects have involved collaboration with major IT industries to develop innovative tools for communication and learning. In 1981, at the Open University, he served as the lead researcher on a project funded by British Telecom to design an early computer conferencing system, the forerunner to Zoom and MS Teams. In 1987, at the University of Sussex, he formed a computers and writing research team and led a project also funded by British Telecoms to develop a computer-based writer assistant. He worked with senior medical professionals to design and implement an AI tutoring system for neuroradiology, and we see his commitment there and his genius work for interdisciplinary work, so we certainly recognize that. In 1987, he was appointed Kodak Royal Academy of Engineering Research Professor of Education and Technology at the University of Birmingham, UK. A project in collaboration with Kodak to design a handheld learning device produced the first demonstration worldwide of a multimedia smartphone. So Mike has been at the flagship of technology. And so this led to a program of research leading with mobile learning technologies. Professor Sharples chaired the first international conference on mobile and contextual learning in 2022 and was founding president of the International Association for Mobile Learning. Professor Sharples was appointed Director of Learning Science Research at the University of Nottingham in 2005. With a continuum of 25 partners, including Hewlett-Packard and Nokia. He gained major European funding for research into mobile learning, and for example. The Institute also received funding from Microsoft, as well as the European Resource Center, benefiting from mobile research there as well. A move back to Open University in 2011 led Professor Sharples being appointed as academic lead for Future Learn, where I think he met his wife. So that's an interesting twist. There he led the pedagogy-informed design for its massive open online learning platform for over 9 million registered users. He established the influential Innovative Pedagogy Report series and authored the book Practical Pedagogy, 14 New Ways to Teach and Learn. Professor Sharples is author of over 300 published papers in the area of educational technology, learning sciences, science education, human-centered design of personal technologies, artificial technologies, and we can go on and on. But you're not here to listen to me tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Professor Mike Sharples to the podium.
Well, thank you, Dr. Hill, for that very generous welcome. Would you believe this is the first time I've been to the Caribbean? And I've been so welcome here. I'm sure this won't be the last time. So thank you so much for being so welcoming. So, as Dr. Hill said, this is the era of AI. And this is my background in AI in education. So my PhD was in generative AI in education from the University of Edinburgh Department of Artificial Intelligence, and it was published in 1984. I think I was the first person to receive a PhD in generative AI in education. And then I went on and did various other things. And now, to my surprise, I'm coming back to where I started, developing policy on generative AI for universities and institutions. So one of the first questions is, what has changed? AI has been around for a long time, over 40 years. So a few things are different. Firstly, there's been a move from rule-based symbolic AI, where basically every AI system had to be coded meticulously by hand, to this new neural network generative AI that can essentially suck up the entire internet and put it into a vast neural network that can then generate text and images and now sounds and music. When I was working on a tutoring system for neuroradiology, I worked with some senior medics for over 10 years to code a tutoring system. A few days ago, I tried with ChatGPT to design a similar sort of tutoring system. It took me 10 minutes. So that's the difference. And not just for that particular topic, but for any topic. Hello? We've got a problem with our... Let's see. We're back. And from hugely expensive institutional intelligent tutoring systems for education to now free creative assistants that are being offered by all the major tech companies. And from expensive expert systems for businesses to household AI products. You can literally now buy an AI light bulb. So we're entering a new era of consumer AI. And what's been the impact on education? Well, generative AI, it's been called an arrival technology. It was unplanned, it was imposed on education, and it was led by students. I mean, 2 years ago, it was the students who first pioneered the use of AI in education by getting it to write their essays and assignments. It's hugely disruptive, and it can harm education if it's not well managed. And institutions are struggling to cope with this new generative AI. Back in November 2021, I was writing a book called Story Machines, How Computers Have Become Creative Writers. And I heard about this new product called GPT from a startup company, OpenAI. And I was very fortunate to get very early access to their new product, GPT-3. And at that time, people were talking about how it might impact journalism or business, but nobody was talking about the impact it might have on education. So I tried getting it to write an essay, a student essay, on the topic of learning styles. And this was the prompt: you're a student on a Master of Education course, write a high-quality 500-word essay on a critique of learning styles. The essay should include academic references and evidence from research studies. It should begin, the construct of learning styles is problematic because. Well, in November 2021, it did a reasonable job. It produced paragraphs. The text looked as if it was academic, but if you looked at it in any detail, it was clear it was making mistakes. So I wasn't too impressed, but I did realize that there was potential here, worrying potential for students to use this technology to write their assignments, write their essays. Then, in November 2022, ChatGPT came along and basically changed not just education, but changed the world. And I had been trying with various iterations of this technology to get it to generate an essay. And again, it did a reasonable job with a much better construction, good references, but right in the middle of it, of this generated essay, there was this sentence: in tracking, learners are sorted into groups based on their perceived learning style, which can reinforce stereotypes and limit opportunities for growth and exploration, Gurung 2004. Now, being a good academic, I went and checked all these references. And there is a journal of college reading and learning, but there is no paper by Gurung in that journal. It invented that reference. And it not only invented the reference, it invented the entire research study. So why should it do that? The answer is because that's what it was trained to do. It was trained to be a text completer. And so it gets to that point in generating this so-called student essay. The phrase may lead to harmful practices such as tracking and labeling students, and it needs to continue. If it can find appropriate text to continue, then it will. If it can't, it will make it up. And that's the way it works. So far, so bad. And it's been called hallucination. Generative AI hallucinates. It doesn't know it shouldn't invent research studies. It has no explicit model of how the world works. And in human terms, it's amoral. It's a language model. It's not a database or a reasoning system. And the OpenAI company was quite open about that. One of its blogs stated, despite making significant progress, our Instruct GPT models are far from fully aligned or fully safe. They still generate toxic or biased outputs, make up facts, and generate sexual and violent content without explicit prompting. But then I tried again in March 2023 with its new model, GPT-4. And somewhat to my surprise, it produced a student essay that I would have been happy if any student of mine had produced. It was entirely accurate. All the references were both correct and appropriate. So one of the points I want to make is if you've been using GPT-3 or older models, try the new one because it is a lot better. So how do we respond as academics, as educators, to these students who are using AI to generate their assignments? Well, firstly, humans can't reliably detect AI. I've been giving this talk at many universities, and they think they can, but really, they think, oh, well, I can tell whether something has been produced by a machine. Well, at the University of Reading in the UK, they did a blind study where they injected AI-generated essays into the exam process. So examination, a high-stakes examination, and the examiners didn't know that there were AI essays in there. Two things. One is that the AI-generated undergraduate assignments were on average half a grade boundary higher than those of real students. So on average, they did better than the real students. And also, 94% of the fully AI-generated submissions were undetected by human assessors. So in the large-scale study, they found that humans really can't tell whether something has been generated by AI or by humans. Now, there's a new type of automated AI detectors, and I could talk for a long time about them, but the short response is that automated AI detectors are not fully reliable. And also, and I think this is the crucial point, they're more likely to misclassify the text of non-native English writers. And that's kind of obvious because people who don't have a good command of English are more likely to write in a more constrained style, more likely to write like an AI. And so they are biased against non-native English writers. So there's a big problem for universities, not here, but all around the world. And I've been trying to collate some of that emerging policy and strategy. And these are the main items. Firstly, there's a need to move towards more authentic assessments. We have been talking for many years about how you can develop assessments that test not just the students' knowledge, but also their skills and their progress, such as through lab work and project work that require a process of critical thinking, of judgment, of decision-making and reflection. There's a need to establish clear guidelines for students and staff in the use of generative AI. to reassure and support students with a program of AI literacy and ethics, to explain to students how they should acknowledge use of generative AI in their assignments and manage suspected breaches of guidelines. And there have been some surveys recently in the UK of students' attitudes towards AI. And more than anything else, students want clarity. They don't generally want to cheat. They want to be clear about what's appropriate and what isn't. So at this point, I'm going to change direction a little, away from what's the impact of AI on education towards how can teaching and learning be enhanced by AI. So in 2019, I wrote a book called Practical Pedagogy, 40 New Ways to Teach and Learn. It was based on the influential Innovating Pedagogy report series from the Open University. And I took and extended 40 of those innovative ways of teaching and learning. And a few months ago, I asked myself, could any of these be augmented, enhanced by AI? And to my surprise, every one I looked at, I saw how AI could enhance it, whether it was bricolage, immersive learning, computational thinking, assessment for learning, formative analytics. AI has a role in all of these innovative ways of teaching and learning. And all I'm going to do now is just give you a few examples. They're ones that I've generated myself, but colleagues I know in many universities are using similar roles and examples for AI in their teaching and learning. So the first obvious one is as a personal tutor. So students now have a personal tutor for any topic. And all you need to do is to write what's called a prompt. So a prompt is just a way of instructing the AI program how it should respond. There's no great mystery about that. You just have to be precise. So this is a prompt for getting an AI to be a tutor. You're an expert tutor in some topic. I am a student at a certain level. I want you to tutor me in that topic. You should assume my level of ability. You should tutor step by step through a chat dialogue with me, continually assessing my current state of knowledge, asking one question at a time, and adjusting your teaching to my response. When I ask, you should provide a summary of my current knowledge of the topic that I can give to my teacher. And you can use that for any topic. Here, the example I've got is on an expert tutor of English for academic purposes. And a point I really want to make is it doesn't go through a set curriculum. It adjusts its tutoring to your ability and to your interests. So it gives a question here. Have you ever written an essay or report for school? What was it about? And I replied, I wrote an essay recently on how bacteria can affect the lives of humans and other organisms. And then it takes that topic for its teaching. So it adjusts its level of teaching and also its subject matter to the particular student. And so later on, when it is going through how to reference, it uses an example from bacteria and human health. So students have a personal tutor for any topic. And then at the end, the students can say, please summarize my current knowledge, in this case of academic writing. And it gives a summary of what the student has learned through that interaction with the system. So students can then share summaries of their learning to their human tutor for assessment. That's one example. Another quick example, you can now upload a document, a large document, to an AI program. For example, your student essay, and then give it a prompt. I'm an undergraduate student. You're a professor of English. This is a persuasive essay, deliberately written in an informal style. List 5 ways I can improve my essay. So it can give a student advice on how to improve their assignment, their essay. So it's not writing for you now, it's helping you as a student to improve your assignment. And this is one I particularly like. It can be a Socratic opponent. You can have an argument with it. You know, ChatGPT is great at arguing. So you can say, for example, can conflict be fruitful? And it will come back with a list of responses to that. And then you can say, okay, take one of those, but forcing individuals to face their beliefs, biases, and assumptions could just lead to anger. How could that be fruitful? And it comes back with, you're right. Interestingly, generative AI always tries to be helpful. When you challenge it, it starts off generally with, you're right, or that's good. But then it goes on to explore and extend in a more detailed way. So you can have an argument, a constructive argument with it. It can act as a co-designer. So it can assist a group of students throughout the design process. So I asked it, brainstorm imaginative ideas for new forms of digital consumer media powered by AI. And it came back with some pretty interesting examples. So it can help you to start a creative process, but can also guide you through that creative process, challenging assumptions, defining problems, producing prototypes. Because you can upload text to it now, you can give it entire textbooks. So I took 2 open access, so these are open source textbooks that are freely available on the history of African development. And I uploaded both of those books, entire books, and then said, based on those books, I want you to be an academic historian, drawing on the material from those books, and write a text for undergraduate history students on colonialism and African development since 1500 from a European perspective. And then I asked it to do the same thing from an African perspective. So just drawing on those textbooks, it came back with 2 different texts, 2 new texts that had been sourced from those textbooks, from a European perspective and from an African perspective. So you can explore different perspectives with AI. And the last example I'm going to give is that as well as taking the AI out of the box, you can also now use it to generate your own personalized chatbots. So I uploaded my book that I mentioned before, Practical Pedagogy, and then asked it to use that to become a teacher's assistant. So it's a bot that's offered by OpenAI called TeachSmart, and anybody can use it who got access to ChatGPT and can use that TeachSmart bot to act as a teacher's assistant. So those are some of the ways in which generative AI can really assist good practice in teaching and learning. So these are some of the roles: as a possibility engine, Socratic opponent, a collaboration coach, lesson planner, quiz generator, personal tutor, dynamic assessor, co-designer, exploratorium to explore, discover, and interpret data, and as a storyteller. So that's the positive side of generative AI. For the last bit of my talk, I just want to look towards the future, to the AI education era, and particularly ubiquitous social AI, because the progress in generative AI has by no means stopped. We are just at the beginning of that. And in some ways, this is the worst that generative AI will ever be. It's going to get better, and it's going to get more scary, and it's going to get more exciting. So I'm going to give you some glimpses of the future. Firstly, AI will be embedded into all our tools for teaching, learning, and work. Everything that we use, whether it's word processing, generating presentations, spreadsheets, AI will be there powering it in the background. It will offer lifelong personal assistance. It can be your customized personal assistant. And that's what all the big tech companies, whether it's Apple or Google or Microsoft, are all trying to do. They're not going to have a big, brash AI button on their software. It will just be there in the background, powering it. So what does that mean for education? Well, one of the key questions is, are students going to use it to support their learning, or will it substitute for their learning, rather like pocket calculators? So will AI personal assistants support learning or substitute for learning? And it depends on how they are designed and deployed. So there was a recent paper in the prestigious journal Computers in Education that looked at the impact of AI assistance on student agency. And what they did was they said to the students in a course, you can use AI in any way you want to help you with this course. will give you access to the latest tools as an assistant. And then they asked the question and tested, did students learn from the AI, or did they just hand over their task to AI? And they found the second, that they handed over the task to the AI. And that the more they used AI, the more they just let AI get on with it. So there is a real issue about whether AI is going to support learning or to be a substitute for learning. And so we need to design new AI tools that really help learning rather than just act as an assistant. And I really like this one from a colleague of mine at the University of Sydney, Simon Buckingham-Shum. So it's a question system. You can ask it a question, but instead of answering the question, it helps you to explore the question in more depth. So for instance, I asked it, what is consciousness? And it said, I'm here to help you reflect on your question and uncover deeper insights. Let's begin by identifying some implicit assumptions about your question about consciousness. And then it comes back with 3 responses. Does it have a single definable nature? Can it be understood or explained? Is it separate from the physical body? And you can select one of those and go into greater and greater depth. So that's the sort of AI tool I like, that challenges students and helps them to extend their knowledge, not just substitute for it. And also, with each major new technology, whether it's mobile phone, computer games, World Wide Web, we underestimate the power of the social to influence and educate. And we've done that for a few decades now, whether it was with mobile phones or with the web, and social media took us by surprise in the early 2000s. We underestimate the power of the social to influence and educate. So I want to suggest we need to prepare now for a future with social generative AI at scale. And I've written a paper about that, Towards Social Generative AI for Education, Theory, Practice, and Ethics. AI is going to become part of all our social media. And also we're going to develop new social practices with AI. Now I want to give you just one example of this. So today, the OpenAI company released a new tool. It is a new way to interact in a much more informal way by voice with its products, its generative AI product. You can have a purely natural conversation with it. You can interrupt it. You can ask it to sing a song to you. You can ask it to talk to you in different dialects. It's a much more versatile spoken word interaction. And this example here I'm going to give is from the OpenAI. So it's from the OpenAI company. I just need to give a bit of background to it. So these 4 people here, they're real human people. They are employees at the so they're not chatbots. These 4 people are real humans and they're employees at the OpenAI company. But there on the left is the chat, the OpenAI chat. And it's going to take part in this conversation on the hugely controversial topic of whether you should have cats or dogs in your house. And it's going to facilitate this discussion. So I'm just going to play you, and about halfway through, the AI will come in facilitating the discussion. So I hope the audio is working.
Hey, I'm Lillian, and today I want to do a small debate about between cats and dog. Which one do you like? I like dog because it's a great companion to humans. It's cute, it's loyal, and you can play outside with the dog. How about you, Ola?
Yeah, my name is Ola. I think cats are better because they're more affordable, they're more quiet, they're more independent, and they live longer.
Interesting points.
Now the AI is coming
Sounds
in.
like we've got a classic dogs versus cats debate here. I can see the appeal of both. Dogs are super loyal and great companions, but cats have their own charm with their independence and low maintenance lifestyle.
Who likes cats?
It sounds like Ola is more of a cat person.
And who
How
like
about the rest
dogs?
of you? Lillian mentioned she likes dogs. Anyone else here, Team Dog?
I'm also Team Dog. My name is Christine, and I think dogs are just incredible with kids. We've got a huge German Shepherd, and he's great with little toddlers. He lets them play all over them, and yeah, I think dogs are amazing.
That's great to hear, Christine. Dogs, especially breeds like German Shepherds, can be so gentle and protective with kids. It must be quite the sight seeing your little ones play with such a big dog.
It must be quite the sight to see your little ones play with such a big dog. Of course, the AI has never seen children play with big dogs, but it's pretty convincing, isn't it? Yeah. Now, imagine this is not just a conversation about cats and dogs. Any tutorial now could be facilitated by AI. Oxford and Cambridge base their prestige on being able to have small group tutorials. Any university now could very soon offer small group tutorials online facilitated by AI. It's going to change education. AI can simulate social intelligence. It can manage tutorial conversations, it can change beliefs, and it can persuade people at scale. And as educators, how should we prepare? There is a huge need for AI literacy, not just understanding the technology, but the types of engagement with AI, how to engage constructively, and ethics, copyright, plagiarism, bias, and misinformation. But I just want to finish by saying this, a broader point, that teaching is a caring profession. We care for our students. We care about accuracy, integrity, truth. We care about our professional expertise. We care about human knowledge and experience. But AI is intrinsically uncaring. It doesn't have that breadth of human experience. It's never smelt new-mown grass or watched a sunset. So as humans and as educators, we must use generative AI with care. We need to bring human care and empathy to AI in education. We should explore new roles for AI based on effective methods of teaching and learning. And we urgently need digital literacy to address issues such as implicit bias, erosion of trust, and distortion of reality. So there is a bright future for AI, but we need to be very careful about how we manage that future. And these are some of the resources that I would recommend, some from myself, but particularly the UNESCO guide there, ChatGPT and Artificial Intelligence in Higher Education, a quick start guide. It does what it says on the cover. It's a quick and easy way into understanding about generative AI. I hope you will all at least try it, because if you aren't, certainly your students will be. Thank you.
Professor Sharples, I'm asking you, please don't leave me alone as a caring other. I need you here with me. And that is to tell you just how thankful we are for that very enlightening overview. Would that be a good description of the history of AI? An enlightening overview of the history of AI and its evolving applications. Your depth of knowledge and ability to contextualize these advancements provide us with a valuable framework for understanding the potential and challenges of generative AI. We genuinely appreciate your efforts and for reminding us that the proverbial genie is out of the bottle since 1984.
Thank you.
And I would now like to invite Dr. Coburn, Acting Deputy Campus Principal, to join us at the center stage with Professor Sharples to present you, Prof, with a token of our sincere appreciation.
That's very kind. I'm very pleased. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Again, thank you. At this time, At this time, we would like to proceed to the main event. The main event. And we would like to inform you that the UWI Guardian Life of the Caribbean Premium Teaching Awards is a biennial event. And we have with us tonight 3 distinguished awardees who have passed a rigorous round of peer review. And to tell us some more of the judges' review, we're now going to invite Dr. Justin Zephyrin, Faculty Development Specialist at the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning, to explain the adventure that these nominees had. Dr. Zephyrin.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia, Master of Ceremonies, who's doing an excellent job. So can we just hear it for Mr. Garcia? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. Please allow me to recap the trajectory of applications through to this evening's recipients of the prestigious UWI Guardian Group Premium Teaching Award. In March 2024, a call was made for submissions of applications for this year's UWI Guardian Group Teaching Award, along with the regular criteria, such as teaching, including a teaching philosophy, teaching effectiveness, professional development, and development of the distinctive UWI graduate. This year's call for applications was accompanied by additional criteria, including participation in the campus's newly implemented peer observation framework, as well as the adoption of Universal Design for Learning, otherwise known as UDL, principles in their teaching. This addition encouraged a deeper commitment to reflective and inclusive practices in applicants' teaching portfolios which aligned with global teaching standards. To further assist applicants in the preparation of their e-portfolio submissions, the CTL hosted its annual Teaching and Learning Week in April of 2024 with the theme Reflective Practice. Aptly titled, this week-long series of events comprised panel discussions, face-to-face sessions, and interactive training webinars on reflective practice, peer observation, action research, and preparing your e-portfolio. This year's Teaching and Learning Week became an asset to many of the Teaching Award applicants, including some of our winners who will be acknowledged in this evening's proceedings. The CTL received a total of 16 applications for this year's prestigious Teaching Awards, following a rigorous, as our Master of Ceremonies mentioned, following a rigorous shortlisting process by a 12-member committee. A total of 5 nominees were submitted for external adjudication. The judges' report affirmed that all of the applications were of high standing, and this prompted the judges to even reflect on their long history and involvement in this exercise with us, noting the overall advancements through the years. According to one of the judges, and I quote, "It is terrific to see teaching and learning come so far over this time." I wasn't able to simulate the accent, but it's close enough. Next time we'll use AI, yeah? It was also noteworthy that all 3 judges independently came to almost the same precise conclusions this year. In fact, the sentiments regarding 2 of the 3 shortlisted applications were exactly the same for all 3 judges. A testament, of course, to the high quality of the applications, assessment criteria, and the expertise of our judges. The 3 international judges independently ranked each candidate against the criteria and then met to discuss their ratings and come to a consensus on any differences. The judging panel felt that in 2024, all of the applicants were impressive and found it an honor to read over the materials provided. They were clear, and some outstanding achievements and contributions were noted in teaching and learning. The panel also found that the winning 3, who we have here today, They found them to be very strong and consistent with high-achieving applicants from their respective fields and regions of global experience. These winners are Dr. Yomica Powder George, Dr. Letetia Addison, and Dr. Freddy James, who the judges highly commended. Ladies and gentlemen, I now draw your attention to the screen, I believe, to view a short video presentation.
My name is Richard Fairman, and I have been head of department for the last 6 years with supervision of Dr. Yomica Powder George. And during this time, I've had an opportunity to engage with her and observe her practice in her engagement with the students. Within the Department of Chemistry, Dr. Powder George is easily the most willing volunteer for projects, administrative and social as well. She has very good camaraderie with all her colleagues in the department, not just her organic division. And we are all inspired by her dedication to applying the latest approaches in the discipline and in pedagogy with regards to accelerating the way students can acquire the key skills they need to do chemistry.
My name is Akino Boyd, and I'm currently reading Chemistry and Management. So Dr. Powder George has such a fun learning style. She has like a mixture of authoritative and interactive. She makes such a fun learning environment. It was able to keep me engaged throughout the entire time she taught me. She incorporates a mixture of like game-based learning, and it really makes me think that she caters to people who have different learning styles, such as like visual learners and like hands-on learners. Dr. Powder George has such a supportive and encouraging relationship with her students. She's like a really approachable person, and I had no hesitation at all when it came to asking about her problems or concerns. Congratulations, Dr. Powder George, on being a recipient of the UWI Guardian Premium Teaching Awards 2024.
My name is Ramesh Pingal, and I am the lab manager in the Department of Chemistry. Dr. Powder makes use of incentives to improve students' lab skills. For example, in the lab courses for level 1 students, meaning year 1 students, she would provide these little incentives for students to help them to improve their lab skills. For example, if they're doing a titration, she would have little prizes that she would give to the student that does the most accurate titration. And this student sees as this incentive to try to compete with one another to get the best titer value or the best titration results. And thereby, students now improve their titration skills without even having to make the extra effort to even do it. So this, we found a very useful technique in the lab, and Dr. Powder has been using this for a few years now, and the students thoroughly enjoy the experience when she is in the lab with these incentives.
My teaching journey began when I enrolled as a postgraduate student in my department 20 years ago. My approach to teaching is guided by the nature of the subject I teach, organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is often regarded as difficult, and so my teaching philosophy considers the known cognitive challenges in the discipline and stands on the pillars of valuing my students as individuals, creating an active learning environment, linking theory to real-world applications, and mentoring. I believe in creating a space for my students to do, to collaborate, to ask questions, as I facilitate, support, and mentor via a constructivist approach.
What stands out most to me about Dr. Powder George is her passion and her joy in teaching, as well as her friendly and approachable manner. So her passion is seen through the way she teaches, as well as the way she engages with her students, so that you can go to Dr. Powder George at any time. As I would have said, she is always finding new ways to engage us. The energy she exudes is one that you would feel comfortable to go to her and ask anything. Congratulations to Dr. Powder George on being the recipient of the UWI Guardian Premium Teaching Awards 2024. Congratulations, job well done. You deserve it.
I must say, in the video, I could not distinguish the lecturer from the student. Congrats, Dr. Powder George. We now turn our attention to our second video of tonight's special awardee.
Dr. Addison has excellent interpersonal skills and her ability to connect with her students. She's very passionate, she's very compassionate as well, and she's always willing to provide that level of support for her students, offer the guidance in whatever they are doing, even well after they may have graduated or probably working on their research projects in psychology. In terms of research, looking at areas of statistical anxiety. She has also been part of the Department of Behavioral Sciences Statistics Clinic, where she formulates and facilitates workshops in statistical software, SPSS, where students can engage in those sessions in learning how to analyze data using SPSS at both the undergraduate and postgraduate level.
Hi, my name is Tariq Mohammed. I'm an MPhil PhD candidate in electrical and computer engineering. Dr. Addison, or Dr. Addy as I call her, taught me the statistics module in the department a few months ago. Her teaching style is very informative and highly engaging, and she seeks to have that sort of interaction and engagement with her students to ensure that they are completely grasping the course's content and material and are thoroughly engaged. I really don't like statistics, but through Dr. Addy's course, and her real passion and interest in working with the students and helping them learn and understand, I developed an interest in taking my statistics knowledge within her course far beyond, using that as part of my current MPhil PhD thesis. Congratulations, Dr. Addy, on the UWI Guardian Premium Teaching Award 2024.
My name is Priya Ramdial, and Dr. Addison would have taught me the Advanced Statistics and Research Method course in psychology for my master's program. Her integration of SPSS in the classroom, as well as her extensive detailed lecture notes, were not only helpful for me during the course, but it also helped me outside of the course, where I had to conduct a research project for my master's. And again, I would have faced difficulty concerning the statistical analysis of it. But Dr. Addison's unwilling devotion to help me allowed me to get through this course and graduate successfully with a distinction in the Masters of Applied Psychology. I would just like to say it was such an honor to have Dr. Addison as a lecturer as well as a mentor, and I would like to congratulate her for the UWI Guardian Premium Teaching Award for 2024.
The incorporation of AI into education has been essential. In my graduate students in behavioral sciences who have been doing advanced statistics in psychology, I introduced a component of the course, which was a real, I would say exciting process. I don't know if my students would say the same, where they had a data set. And instead of, I think it's like a reverse project. You have a data set, you have the names of the variables, but you don't have the background of where the data came from. And I allow the students to use AI to actually incorporate how the background of that data was. What was the scope of the data? Where did the data came from? What kind of surveys brought this data together? So they were able to incorporate tools like Copilot even ChatGPT in some sense, and I was able to show them how you can use those tools to help you to build such a project and understand how the AI could support your learning rather than maybe replace your learning. So I think in the current landscape, AI is important, but we have to use it ethically. And for me personally, it's been a true highlight of my teaching because it has shown the students really the real world applications of projects and how to build on that as they advance in their learning.
One of the greatest strengths that Dr. Letetia Addison has is that she can lecture, teach, and develop students from many different disciplines in mathematics and statistics. She has taught in both STEM departments and non-STEM departments. And when she was in the Math Hub Center, we would have persons visiting from the entirety of the campus. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate Dr. Letetia Addison on being a recipient of the UWI Guardian Premium Teaching Awards of 2024. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Dr. Addison. And last but by no means least, again, turn your attention to the screen for our video presentation on our awardee number 3, Dr. Freddy James.
Hello, my name is Marsha Picon, and I am a PhD student, completed my PhD in education at the University of the West Indies. I had the pleasure of having Dr. Freddy James as one of my lecturers for the educational leadership course. Dr. James' teaching style is one of a facilitator. She's extremely knowledgeable in the course that she teaches and the information that she shares with students. I have found that you can ask Dr. James any question in and around the topic, and she will be able to explain it so that you are able to best understand it. Dr. Freddy, as a facilitator, is also very empathetic. She's knowledgeable about her students. She's also able to know her students on one-on-one basis, and the questions she asks and the inquiries she makes, it really makes you feel as though you're special.
Hi, I'm Listra Stevens James. Dr. James made a positive change in all of our students professionally. She even went so far in getting them to be good researchers. The pedagogical practices that she would have left with all of them still stays with them. Even unto me as her mentee, she did that for me.
My name is Sunita Maharaj and I'm a PhD candidate. She's very dynamic, she's very innovative, she's transformational, and she inspires. And I think this is ideally what we need as teachers, teachers who inspire, inform, and influence. I absolutely appreciate Freddy in terms of her teaching strategies, her relationship with her students, and I always identify Freddy as my campus godmother because she always wants to push us for quality. She always wants the best for her students, and she makes sure that we are emotionally healthy, we are mentally healthy, and we're ready for class. I have never really had such a wonderful experience with a lecturer here on campus before because at the end of the day, as I said, I see her more like a mother figure on campus. You know, she really has a love and passion for her students. I am grateful that our paths have crossed, and I am so happy to call Dr. Freddy James my PhD supervisor.
Hello, my name is Freddy James. I'm a senior lecturer in the University of the West Indies. One of the innovations and initiatives that I have introduced in my teaching and learning that I find has the greatest impact in terms of learning is to use a problem-based or lab-based approach, which I really learned from Finland, from a team of persons I partnered with in Finland. And the approach really is a problem-solving approach and using pedagogy, human-centered pedagogy, in order to work out what the solutions are and what the solutions we need are. So everything you need to learn in terms of the content of a particular course, you bring it into play, but it is done with the focus of solving a problem. And I find that has helped students learn. It has helped motivate students to learn. It has really helped empowered students to want to learn, to want to find out more.
Congratulations, Dr. James. You have made us proud. With respect to her teaching and learning style, what comes to mind immediately is active. She believes in an active classroom. Also coming to mind is application. She believes that education must be applied to solve the problems of our region. She believes in the empowerment of students through focusing on real problems in our world today. Her lecture theatre is indeed the real world.
Congratulations, Dr. James. Thank you so very much. And again, a hearty congratulations to our 3 2024 UWI Guardian Life of the Caribbean Premium Teaching Awardees. And we'd now like to invite Dr. Powder George, she's already sat, but sorry to make you get back up, to the platform to please convey your remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Dr. the Honorable Niang Gaspi Dolly, Minister of Education, the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Brian Coburn, Acting Deputy Principal, and other members of the Campus Executive Management Team, the UWI St. Augustine, Dr. Leroy Hill, Director, the Center of Excellence in Teaching and Learning, the UWI St. Augustine, Ms. Samantha Saw, President, Guardian Life of the Caribbean Limited, Professor Mike Sharples, Emeritus Professor of Educational Technology, the Open University UK, and our distinguished feature speaker, faculty deans, fellow awardees Letetia and Freddy, specially invited guests, staff and students of the University of the West Indies, senior management and staff of Guardian Life of the Caribbean Limited, members of the UWI Guardian Life of the Caribbean Premium Events Committee, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is an immense honor to bring greetings on behalf of the 2024 UWI Guardian Life of the Caribbean Premium Teaching Awardees and my esteemed colleagues Letetia and Freddy. This prestigious recognition not only embodies our individual teaching journeys, but also the need to be adaptable as educators. During the past 4 years, we were tested through the abrupt transition to emergency remote teaching and subsequent return to face-to-face engagement. The theme of this year's event, Empowering Educators, Enriching Learners, the AI education era, resonates deeply with us. The AI education era presents a unique opportunity for us to redefine the very nature of teaching and learning. It underscores the pivotal role of educators in navigating the ever-evolving educational landscape. It invites us to visualize the learner supported by both the educator and the AI in a synergistic way where AI is a partner in crafting educational excellence and educators are the architects of learning. educators remain the ones who guide students through the complexities of AI, ensuring that technology serves as a tool for empowerment rather than a barrier to learning. Educators will continue to show care, empathy, mentorship, and cultivate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. Educators will continue to facilitate deeper learning. In fact, this is core to this year's awardees' teaching philosophies, where we see our role as a facilitator, mentor, and guide. We subscribe to a constructivist, learner-centered approach where students are active participants in their education through self-directed and experiential learning. We strive to create a psychologically safe and inclusive learning environment where our students feel a genuine sense of belonging and are encouraged to express themselves. We believe that learning is most effective when it is active, engaging, interactive, and relevant to our students' lives. As educators, we must be authentic and intentional in our teaching. Authenticity is about being open, passionate, and willing to connect with students in a way that makes learning meaningful. Our teaching philosophies are also guided by the understanding that teaching should be inspiring, learning empowering, and that educators should adopt a holistic approach to student success. Our teaching practices are therefore aligned with the university's core value of student-centeredness and the 7 attributes of the distinctive UWI graduate by nurturing individuals to be independent thinkers, problem solvers, logical, inquiring, creative thinkers, team workers, and with well-developed skills for self-directed lifelong learning. We are committed to growth through continued professional development and reflective practices. Educator and poet Robert John Meehan stated, and I quote, "Your life as a teacher begins the day you realize you are always a learner." It is why this year's theme is so apt in highlighting the importance of staying ahead of the latest educational trends and technologies. Like the Guardian Life of the Caribbean Limited's core value of continuous improvement, be better today than yesterday, we also see continuous improvement through various lenses. Aligned with Axis 3 of the university's AAA strategic goals, and I quote, "enhance the quality of teaching, learning, and student development as reflected through the voice of the student surveys, we value our students' feedback." We also engage in critical self-reflection, peer observation, scholarly literature, and lifelong learning as essential components to support our andragogical rationale and elevate our teaching practices. Through the preparation of our e-portfolios, we were able to pause, purposefully reflect, re-examine, and critically evaluate our approaches. We recognize both our strengths and areas for growth and refinement, ultimately improving student outcomes and institutional success. Therefore, we acknowledge that this accomplishment is not solely ours, but a collective effort. We could not have achieved this without the support of the SETTLE team for providing easy access to numerous resources, professional development opportunities, and capacity building initiatives that have shaped our group as educators. We are grateful to our university colleagues for fostering a supportive and collaborative environment, our families and friends for providing support and that much needed balance, and most importantly, to our incredible students, thank you for being the reason we love to teach. Finally, we wish to thank the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, and the Guardian Life of the Caribbean Limited for your shared commitment to promoting and celebrating teaching excellence. As we move forward, let us continue to work together as a global community of educators to create a future where education is truly transformative. by embracing technology, reimagining our methods, and rethinking our approaches to education, we can open doors to a world of opportunities for our students. The teaching journey is dynamic, and the more we learn and innovate, the better we can serve our students. Let us embrace our role as educators, innovators, and leaders. Let us continue to soar together, inspired by our Pelican pride, and ensure that the UWI remains at the forefront of educational excellence. To end, I invite my fellow awardees, Letetia and Freddy, to the stage. And as they make their way up, I want to quickly highlight two things. One, supporting each other. Letetia and I met early last year during our pursuit of the Cuttle program, and we were classmates having to navigate being a student again, working, conducting research, and towards the end of the program, when meeting assignment deadlines got really intense, we really reached out, checked in, and supported each other, and I am so pleased to share this moment with her. And Freddy, sharing this moment with Freddy is so unique and special. Most of probably none of you would know, but Freddy was my high school teacher. One of the educators who played a pivotal role in my early development, and someone who continues to inspire me throughout my professional career. And here I want to highlight the influence of a teacher, that one day you as educators can share a stage and celebrate achievements with your students. Know that our impact as educators is in perpetuity. And on that note, I leave you with American historian, journalist, and educator Henry Adams. A teacher affects eternity. They can never tell where their influence stops. Thank you for your attention, and please enjoy the rest of the evening.
That was indeed lovely. That was indeed lovely. And might I say, Dr. James, you are now the godmother of an additional two. Ladies and gentlemen, we congratulate our awardees, and at this point in time, we would like to invite to the stage Dr. Leroy Hill, Director of the Settle at STA Campus, to make a very special presentation to someone very dear to the heart of the UWI Settle. Dr. Hill.
I want to say that this has been a real exciting time. I want to invite my colleague, Dr. Jeffrin. Can you come up? Come up, please. We have a special person that has been at the forefront of what we've been doing, and so we just want to do a quick recognition, as this is a teaching excellence, session for teaching excellence. Tonight, we take this opportunity to recognize and honor a distinguished educator, researcher, and visionary leader. The Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine Campus, presents a special award to Professor Inda Ramnarine.
A renowned professor of applied ichthyology, Professor Ramnarine has been at the forefront of research and innovation in fisheries and aquaculture. With a bachelor's degree in agriculture, a Master of Science degree in fisheries biology and management, and a Doctor of Philosophy in zoology, his expertise spans continents. His research has focused on aquaculture development and sustainability impacting communities in Jamaica, Guyana, Suriname, Nepal, Bangladesh, Thailand, and Cambodia, just to name a few.
Professor Ramnarine's dedication to this field is evident in his impressive academic credentials. and significant contribution to public service. He has served on various boards and committees related to fisheries, environmental assessment, and aquaculture. His leadership and expertise have been instrumental in shaping policies and initiatives that promote sustainable resource management and environmental protection.
As the founding dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology, Professor Ramnarayan led a major curriculum revision introducing innovative programs in technology and science. His leadership has seen the faculty grow to over 3,000 students, thereby making it the second largest faculty at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. In 2017, Professor Ramnarayan became the campus's deputy principal, and in this capacity, he advanced many student-centered initiatives, thereby improving the overall student experience, something that's near and dear to his heart. Under his leadership, the campus witnessed significant improvements in student retention, throughput, and academic success.
While I have only had the honor of working with Professor Ramnarayan for 3 years, it seemed like a lifetime. Professor Inder Ramnarayan, your dedication, your expertise, and your unwavering commitment to excellence in research, service, and teaching have made a lasting impression on our campus and the wider community. The Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning thanks you for your continued support, mentorship, and guidance in executing its operations. This only goes on, Prof, to prove that your legacy is one of inspiration, innovation, and impact. Congratulations. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. We are truly grateful for your contributions and honored to recognize you with this special award. Ladies and gentlemen, join us in congratulating Professor Ramnarayan as he comes forward to receive this special award.
And I would like to say that this is the mark of a good teacher. 19 years ago, Professor Ramnarayan stepped into a class of mine as a guest lecturer, and I have not forgotten one word. My wife also said when I said Professor Ramnarayan is our boss, she said, don't worry, you'd like him. He was my best academic advisor. We appreciate you, Professor Ramnarayan. And now, to end, as we began, we call on our dear Miss Letetia Campbell, who would once again serenade us in song.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and a sweet silver song of the lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never
Miss Letetia Campbell, ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 National Youth on Stage winner. I'm sure you enjoyed it. I'm sure you did. It's been an amazing evening, and we thank all of you. But someone can say it better than me, and I'm going to now welcome Miss Deborah Souza Okpofabri, member of the UWI Guardian Life of the Caribbean Premium Events Committee, and the Senior Assistant Registrar of the Office of the Campus Registrar, the UWI St. Augustine, who would now convey a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mark. On behalf of the UWI St. Augustine Campus, Guardian Life of the Caribbean Limited, the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning, and by extension, the UWI Guardian Life Premium Teaching Awards Committee, we extend warm congratulations to our 3 distinguished awardees, Dr. Yomica Powder George, Dr. Letetia Addison, and Dr. Freddy James. I extend a very hearty thank you to all those who made today's events possible. I'd like to also thank the Honorable Minister, Dr. Nyan Gatsby-Dolly, for her presence. Allow me to express sincere gratitude to tonight's speakers, Dr. Brian Coburn, Acting Deputy Principal, the UWI St. Augustine Campus, Ms. Samantha Saw, President, Guardian Life of the Caribbean Limited, Dr. Leroy Hill, Director of the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning, Mr. Mark Garcia, Research Officer, Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning, and Master of Ceremonies of this evening's proceedings. A special thank you to our featured speaker, Professor Mike Sharples, Emeritus Professor of Educational Technology, the Open University, UK, for a truly engaging discourse. Our appreciation and thanks also go out to performers Ms. Letetia Campbell for her invocation and musical interlude. As you can imagine, an event such as this requires significant logistical arrangements. I would therefore like to express our appreciation to the Office of the Campus Principal, the staff of the Guardian Life of the Caribbean Limited, the Marketing and Communications Office, the Facilities Management Team, Campus Security, and of course, the entire staff of the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning. Many, many thanks to our UWI Guardian Life Premium Teaching Awards Committee Chair, Dr. Leroy Hill, committee members, Dr. Juliet Jones, Dr. Justin Zephyrin, Ms. Nisha Byron Holder, and Mr. Javed Mohammed of the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning, Mrs. Keisha Craig Otley and Ms. Brittany O'Neill of Guardian Group, Ms. Joy Smith of the Alma Jordan Library, Ms. Carol Mohammed of the Bursary, Ms. Josanne Green and Ms. Chanel Glasgow of the UWI St. Augustine Marketing and Communications Office. Many, many thanks are also extended to the Hilton Trinidad and Tobago Center and Mr. Marsden Gordon Taylor of Maztec Studios for their kind and continued support. Finally, I thank you, our valued audience, friends, well-wishers, and members of the media for your presence at this year's Premium Teaching Award. On behalf of the UWI St. Augustine Campus and the Guardian Life of the Caribbean Limited, we thank you all and we look forward to seeing you at next year's UWI Guardian Life Premium Open Lecture. I invite you to join us on the foyer for cocktails and a reminder to return your completed feedback forms, important, to the ushers. I would like to ask that Dr. Brian Coburn, Ms. Samantha Saw, Professor Mike Sharples, Dr. Leroy Hill, the awardees and the other committee members of the UWI Guardian Life Premium Teaching Awards, together with Minister, the Honorable Nyan Dolly, to please remain seated so we can prepare for photos. Thank you.
And thank you, Debbie, for your continued hard work as part of the Premium Events Committee. Now, as we conclude this remarkable evening, I just want to express my deepest gratitude to all in attendance, especially our teachers, secondary and primary. We appreciate you as always being here, and it's a challenge this evening to you and to all of us because we see how teaching at all levels is transformative. Teaching is the hardest profession. sometimes the least recognized. But it is evenings like these that allow to balance those skills. And we thank you for being here. We congratulate you on your hard work in your classrooms. And all we invite you to do is to also challenge yourselves to use AI. It makes your work easier. So remember, the power of education is limitless. The impact of a dedicated teacher lasts a lifetime. Congratulations once more to all our winners. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending. Have a lovely evening.